What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another live stream here, Bitcoin Daily. Today is the 24th of April, the start of a brand new week. Today's Monday. It is 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and today we're going to be covering a lot of different stuff, just like we do every day on Let's Talk Crypto. I have my co-host with me, the Bitcoin Queen. How are you doing?
There we go. I was frozen for a second. I am awesome. Couldn't be better. This is another week in crypto.
Yep.
It's the rise of the meme coin. That's pretty much what I've taken.
Yeah.
The past few days, and we'll talk about that and how to navigate this. I don't want to say, well, it's kind of a mess. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Every time it happens, it's a little hectic. Ethereum gas fees are up, which is kind of obnoxious. I'm surprised there wasn't more of these meme coins launching on alternative chains or layer 2s. But yeah, we'll get into that a little later.
Yeah, definitely. I know the meme coin, I think the talk of the week was Bybit with some crazy gains. But
supposedly.
Supposedly. What I was seeing was that a lot of the people that did these crazy gains, there wasn't enough liquidity for them to sell. So they had to, like, even if, like, I saw one story that a guy turned, like, you know, $27 into $1 million. But by the time he was able to sell it, if he were to sell it, it was gonna actually be like closer to like $500,000. Still amazing return, but there wasn't enough liquidity to really, earn, you know, what the thing said he had, type of thing. But yeah, it's been a crazy week in crypto. The last week, as we all know, we saw a downturn in the market. And currently Bitcoin's sitting at $27,000. So we're watching here to see if it's going to hold up here at 27 or if we might fall below 27. So we're going to talk about, the pricing, what's going on there with Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at other altcoins as well. We're also going to be going over the economic calendar for the week. We have one thing it's not major as far as bringing in volatility, but it's kind of major in the macroeconomic sense that we're going to cover today. And then we're going to be also looking forward to next week when we do get the Fed interest rate hike decisions. And then we'll end it with, we're going to, of course, cover the news and then end it with a market analysis and a Q&A. So let's go ahead and dive right in, guys. So the first things first, Bitcoin sitting at $27,100 as of this moment. Ethereum right behind it at $1,800. So if we let's take a look at the weekly here to see how the close was last week. Let me I
think someone had dumped a bunch of Bitcoin over the past few days on centralized exchanges, and it took quite a dump.
Yeah, there's been a lot, and I think I saw a lot of miners also taking profit and stuff like that, or at least selling. I don't know if they're taking profit or not, due to how much it costs to mine a Bitcoin right now. But I think it was around break even.
Yeah, the hash rate has gone up significantly, which in retrospect increases security, but it's something to consider because it does generate. It takes more electricity to generate a Bitcoin at that point in time, and more hash power. So need more machines focusing just on one block. So does affect those rewards.
Yeah. So you can see on the weekly chart here, Bitcoin last week was down 9%. It closed out the week at 27,573. So the closing was actually, it wasn't bad. The price pushed up towards the end of the day of the weekly candle here. But today we pretty much started back off exactly where we left off on Friday, where we left off last week. And we're currently down about 1.5% right now. We're gonna wait and see what happens here, how it plays out. If we take a look at the rest of the market right now, let me just refresh the screen real quick. And you can see that pretty much everything is in the red. as far as which ones have fallen the most right now, we see Matic is under $1 again for the first time in a while. It's down 15%. If we keep going down, I want to see over the last 7 days if there's anything that's really popping out for me. Aptos is down 17%. Near's down 18, Arbitrum down 19. So a lot of the coins that had big run-ups in the last few weeks, you can see Phantom down 20%. It looks like these are probably leading the way down right now. Rocket Pool down 24%. So that's what it looks like. But like always, Bitcoin is the king, and the market is still very much correlated with what happens with Bitcoin's price. So whenever Bitcoin goes down, everything else is following it. And, you know, altcoins, they're going to move a lot more. They're going to exaggerate whatever move Bitcoin makes. So that's why you see, you know, Bitcoin down 7.9%, and then Ethereum exaggerates that move a little bit. And then you'll see other altcoins also exaggerating the move. So if we look at our top crypto gainers and losers, what a surprise that the top gainer in the last 24 hours is a meme coin, Floki. If we go over the last 7 days, we have Mango Man Intelligent. I'm not sure what that is, but that's up 69%. And other than that, not really much else. These are the top 300. That's why we're getting like these random coins. In the top 100, there's really not much going on. You see the top coin over the last 7 days is up 2.5%. So there's really not much going on. If we look at the top losers, Injective is down 30%. And this was one of the leaders over the last few weeks that was up a lot. So that's why it's probably at this point leading the losers now. We have Baby Dogecoin down 23%. So you got to be careful with those. We also have Arbitrum down 23%, and a few others here, as you guys can see. So so it's been a wild week, roller coaster kind of a week. You know, a lot of people, you know how it is. When the market's bullish, everybody's screaming. All the bulls are screaming, "Oh my God, we're going to the moon." Then when it gets bearish, then all the bears are screaming, "Oh my God, we're going to zero." How have you been? How have you been handling this past week?
Yeah, you know, it feels good not to look at anything. Yeah, I try to get into some of those meme coins just to see, and the gas fees are just like getting out of control again, and it's just not great to even like play around with these things. Like some of these things are so cheap. Like there's the trending meme coin right now. It's called Pleb.
Oh yeah.
And it's like all over Twitter, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And it's like, you know, like 0.0000000 like 1 cent or whatever, and there's like I think like $300,000 in like 24-hour volume action, which is pretty good, and it's pumped quite a bit. But you know, it's like, okay, let's put $30 in there, see what happens, and like gas fees alone are like 35. So right. It's like I don't know. So it's like sometimes I just stay away. I just don't even look at it. I'm just like.
Yeah. A lot of most of the, like I've done a few transfers like on Uniswap and stuff like that, and most of those gas fees have been like minimum $20. So and that was, I think that was over the weekend. So over the weekend, usually gas is cheaper, either on the weekend. So usually if you want to make a swap, it's best to do it over the weekend, or really early in the morning, or really late at night. That's usually when gas fees are the cheapest on the network. And still, I was paying like $20 basically, you know. So I was basically watching it. If I saw it go under 20, then I'd make the swap, because I was the cheapest that I was able to see it. So yeah, it's definitely been very expensive over the last few weeks because of all these meme coins popping up in the market right now. All right, let's take a look at let's take a look at the economic calendar here, and we can see there's really not too much going on this week as far as anything that's really going to bring a lot of volatility into the market. Now we do have the GDP on Thursday at 8:30 a.m. That could bring some volatility into the market. How much? I don't know. I guess it would depend on what, how big or how good or bad it would be. Now one thing to note though that's happening this week, we have earnings that began 1 or 2 weeks ago in the stock markets overall. And this week we have a lot of the big players. So I think we have Google this week. I think maybe Apple might be reporting this week as well. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly which ones are reporting, but we do have a lot of the bigger players reporting this week. So that is something to kind of watch in the overall market to see, how they're trending, how it's trending, because it could also, show some clarity on the overall economic standpoint in the market, on the biggest businesses in tech, right? A lot of them are considered risk-on assets, just like Bitcoin is considered. So it could have some effect. Not saying that it's going to have an effect, because Bitcoin really doesn't matter what Google or Apple does, but because they are risk-on assets, this kind of how Bitcoin is classified, maybe there might be some sort of effect, correlated effect. But so something just to keep in mind, just something to watch. Now, the main thing, the next big volatility event that we are going to have will be next week. If we look forward to next Wednesday, the 3rd of May, we're going to see that the Fed interest rate decision is going to be at 2 p.m. on that day. So that 100% is going to affect the market, and is going to affect Bitcoin and everything, right? It's going to bring volatility into the market. So, what can we expect right now? As you can see right here, the previous, we had a 25 basis points rate hike, right? Which got us to 5%. Now, the consensus is that we're going to get another 25 basis points rate hike, which would put us at 5.25%. So that's the consensus. That's also the forecast. And also, if we pull up this here, this is a CME Fed Watch tool, and it gives you a probability of what they're going to do. So you can see right now, the probability is that there will be a 25 basis points hike on next Wednesday. So that's already being priced into the market. So if they raise it 25 points, it's not a big deal. What's gonna move the market more after that is gonna be, the press conference afterwards, where the Fed, Jerome Powell's gonna be speaking about, what their outlook is going forward, how they plan to continue going forward, if they think, we're going into a recession, if they think we're in a recession already, which I believe we've been in a recession for the past year, and things like that. That'll give more clarity on what they might be doing in the future, going into the next interest rate hike, which will be on the 14th of June. And as you can see right now, the probability is that there's a 67% probability that there will be a pause in interest rate hikes. There's a 26% chance that they will increase it another 25%. So depending what happens on Wednesday and what they say, all of these numbers are probably going to change. But I think the one that's pretty much for certain is this one right here, where there's a 91% chance probability that there will be a 25 basis points rate hike. So something to keep in mind, something to watch and prepare for, as we will see volatility come into the market during all that. So now that we got that out of the way, I'm gonna pass it over to the queen here, so she can go jump into some of the news. I know we got some big news on one of the exchanges that I personally use, Bybit.
Yeah, it's quite sad. So we all know what's been happening, especially here in the U.S., and how the SEC has been cracking down on a lot of individuals. Bittrex, we saw last week, got in trouble and got slapped on the hand. And we've also been seeing Coinbase having a "we think we need to leave America" campaign, pretty much, and go to the UK. So I guess let's start by Bybit. Bybit basically is having mandatory KYC for all its services and all its products, no matter where it is. So I mean, this this is pretty much what we saw what happened with Binance back probably a few years ago when, similar things were coming up around money laundering and all this kind of stuff in between. So similar move where, anyone who is using their product, they will start rolling out any, I guess, new users that get on the exchange as of next month. And then I think by December, everyone needs to do KYC is pretty much what I'm seeing. So like identity verification at least level 1 will be mandatory for all products and services as of May 2023. So any existing orders will be the only ones that are honored, I guess, without any KYC. If there's anything new after that date, then that's pretty much it. I don't know what you guys used to trade, but we're seeing this slowly start to tumble. I think exchanges that still have some, I guess, free. Like I think there's some exchanges that still do about like 1 Bitcoin a day in terms of withdrawal, like KuCoin and a few others that will slowly start. We'll start seeing this because even DeFi, the SEC is saying like, hey, we need to control DeFi as well. So unfortunately, it's not looking good for centralized exchanges or decentralized exchanges.
Yeah, I know I'm looking at a few different options at this point now for trading, because I'm definitely going to be having to move off of Bybit. So I'll update you guys, once I'm going through them right now and testing them. So once I figure out which ones I really like, I'll definitely be updating you guys with that as well.
Yeah, but we like you, Bybit. We don't blame you. But in lighter news, so last year we all saw what happened with Tornado Cash and the sanctions in North Korea and all that mess, pretty much. And we saw that one of the developers who worked on Tornado Cash was arrested in the Netherlands. Well, he's been denied to be released up until recently. So he will actually be released 2 days from now, pending trial. He was arrested all the way in August, and 2 days from now he'll be released, which is insane. And they actually never charged him because he never went to trial. Now he's going to trial within the next month, but I guess they're going to let him go. He's going to be home for his birthday. His birthday is coming up, which is cool. But yeah, rooting for him because, I mean, it's just really insane what happened there, and how a crackdown can actually really affect innocent people who kind of just get caught in the fire for other people's actions, really. But yeah, so in lighter news, that guy got released, or is being released in the next 2 days. So Coinbase, we've seen that they've had basically, I guess, a campaign, because it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was circulating on Twitter where Coinbase was saying that they got intel from the SEC saying that they may be violating some regulation. Now, I think the issue that everyone within the industry takes is that there is no actual regulation and clarity around regulation as of right now. Even though we see the SEC pumping out lawsuits and serving people left and right. So it's a little concerning that, especially for an exchange that's been around for so long, operating within the U.S., for them to all of a sudden have something that they have violated or don't have clarity on, it's a little concerning. So basically, Coinbase has been having a campaign to lobby for regulation clarity or leave the U.S. If they leave the U.S., I mean, that's a pretty large exchange. So I think last week they were granted a license to operate in Bermuda, and they're looking into derivatives trading internationally, which is cool. But this also gives them a leadway to start that exit if there is no regulation clarity. And it doesn't look like Mr. Gensler is trying to give us that clarity. I don't know if you guys watched the hearing last week that he had with Congress, but he got grilled.
Yeah.
And when he was asked, like, oh, can you tell us whether Ethereum is a security or commodity? He literally could not answer. And these are things that are scary, as well as it jeopardizes a lot of what's going on. Right now, there's two sides of the party right now where it's like, yay, go get those crypto bros. And then there's other people that are like, hey, slow down. You're hurting people. So we're at a really strange stage right now. And the last thing we need, I think, as an industry is games. We do not need to play games. We need to know where we're going, how we're doing things, etc. Because it's just a very, very strange time what's happening right now. And I think it's just insane that we can't get straight answers. I think there is certain reasons and certain parties that are being avoided to not give straight answers. For example, so a lot of people don't know this, but Circle has their USDC stablecoin, and they basically have a lobbying group that wants to make USDC the stable coin of settlement, like officially within the US, and basically ban all the others. So no USDT, no DAI, none of it. So they want to get rid of all of it, and they just want to be, themselves. The truth is, there's a lot of players within the industry that, yes, they want regulation, but at the same time, it's almost for their own benefit, which is driving some of these lawmakers to, not tell us yes or no, in a sense, because there is a lot of people who hire lobbying groups for their own benefit. And I don't know, it's not I think that in general, governments need to focus on not driving away business and general guidelines and framework for what's in front. I think as long as we have those and don't have any definitive answers, especially for lobbying groups, I think we should be okay. But just randomly suing people, just every day is I feel like it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, 100%. And I watched some of it when he was getting grilled and being asked, is Ethereum a commodity or a security? And then he wouldn't answer. He would just give it's like he
of coins.
Yeah, like, it's like he had a script and he was trying to say his memorized lines, and then the guy kept cutting him off and being like, "That's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you, is Ethereum?" And then Gary was like, "Oh, I don't want to speak to any specific." And he's like, "Well, I mean, you already spoken to other specific. You spoke about Bitcoin. So if you can speak about Bitcoin, why can't you speak about Ethereum, which is the second largest market cap coin on the market?" And he's like, "Oh, because I don't want. What was he said? Something about him prejudging something,
he doesn't want to prejudge, but
right,
the issue is
he's giving lawsuits. They're suing.
He's giving lawsuits.
Everyone, and there's no clarity.
He did things with Algorand so this guy's at MIT, right? Algorand also at MIT. And, he used to shill Algorand. People thought Gary Gensler was going to come into office and he was going to be, the saving grace because he used to talk about crypto and, this is great. And everybody regrets that decision now because he's just like hammering these companies left and right. And, to be fair, what's happened with Celsius, BlockFi, FTX, and all the in-between is very scary and has, in fact, to an extent, put him under the bus because of his relationship with FTX and, some of the companies in between. So he kind of has to be tough. You know, like I understand him from the perspective of, okay, things are getting out of control. We got to protect consumers. We got to make sure we go after these companies and keep them accountable. But at the same time, you're going after them on technicalities, according to what you're saying, because if there is no premeditated, you know, like just frameworks or guidelines or whatever for anyone to follow, and you don't want to speak on it, you don't want to clarify on it, but you want to take action on it, like it's just, it looks bad. It's just, it looks really, really bad.
It makes zero sense.
Yeah, no, it's not great. It's not great, the situation that's happening right now. Like people are shocked with the whole like Algorand thing, because he used to be in classes at the university talking about how great he thought Algorand was and how, you know, this and the third and blah 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 blah, and here we are, him serving them.
Yeah,
you know, it's like, and it's funny because people are just like, oh, is he going to give himself a fine like he did to Kim Kardashian because he's promoting an asset? And it's just one of those things where it's definitely a tough spot that he's put himself into, but it's something that, you know, this is your job and you need to be held accountable, just like any other employee at any other industry, firm, company, corporation would. And that's pretty much the end of it. But yeah, enough about Gary. So yeah, I just think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with a lot of these centralized and decentralized exchanges over the next 2 years within the U.S., because quite interesting. And with these elections coming up. So besides that, Apple, we've seen the rise of, I guess, internal wallets and abilities within devices. We saw it with Samsung. Now we're seeing it with Apple, except there's vulnerabilities. So it is not recommended right now for you to use the Apple Wallet directly to keep your cryptocurrencies, because there is some major vulnerability project that's sold out, and most people are tired of thinking about a Biden-Trump re-election. I think it's crazy that some of these guys are even going still. I think when you have retirement rules.
Yeah, there's no way that Biden can run again, bro. Like, I don't even know
what's going on.
I don't
like,
even.
This is insane.
Yeah, like, and then I mean, no offense, but like, even Trump at this point, like, how old is he? He's getting to his 80s, right? Like,
these guys need to sit down.
Like, isn't retirement age, what's retirement, like 65 or something? Like
65, but there's definitely a retirement crisis. So there's definitely a retirement crisis of people who, you know, cannot afford to retire by 65 because of the cost of living going up much faster than the ability to sustain yourself and, you know, money that's being given out to doing certain jobs. But these are people who don't have that necessity.
Right.
I just don't even know what they're doing.
Right. If the retirement age is 65, then I think we should put a limit on the people that are running for presidents as well. Maybe not 65. Maybe we could extend it, but come on, these last few years have been very, very weird to say. I keep getting disconnected again. I don't know what's going on, but I keep getting disconnected.
Supposedly. Or was it Reagan? Reagan was in his 90s, was he?
Wow. In his 90s? That's crazy.
No, hold on. No, he died at 93. No, how old was he? I think he was the oldest president to live so far, 93. But the oldest person to assume the presidency is Joe Biden. Yeah. Yeah. So he's the oldest person to be inaugurated to be a president.
Yeah. And how old is he?
He's Currently 80.
Yeah, I think after this, we need to set some type of standard or some type of rules, you know, based on age, because we've seen this fall off really hard. Like it's been crazy. It's like he fell off a cliff the last like 2 years or something. I don't know, but yeah, it's been a steep drop off. I think we need to put some sort of rules against the age of people running for president.
Yeah, it's I guess you can't be younger than 45, and then you or 40. I think it's 40. Maybe it's 35. I think is it 35? I don't even, hold on, let me see.
I'm not sure.
Let's see. It's 35. You have to be at least 35. And I think the youngest president that was elected into office was 43. And yeah, but anyways,
That's wild.
Politics are a slippery slope.
Yeah. All right. We got anything else in news, or is that it?
Nope, I think that's it. There hasn't been just a rise of the meme coins,
Yeah.
and I guess navigating that whole ordeal, which we kind of talked about a little bit. But you know, all I can say is, guys, this is a period of time where there's a lot of BS that happens. It's like altcoins. It's like this is kind of like the DeFi summer of 2020, where just all these meme coins start saturating the market, and you just see them, you know, pump every day, and new things get minted every day. So yeah, all I gotta say is be careful. People who know how to navigate and make profits off this, the true degenerates, and have fun, be safe, but it's going to be a hectic time. If you're not somebody who is a good trader or can pay attention to charts or has, things set up to have fail safes, then probably stay away.
I think
dollar cost average into the safe stuff.
I think that we should just create our own meme coin. Do it live. Do it live on a live stream, and see what happens.
I mean, like, theoretically, yeah. Just because it's funny because last cycle there was this guy who made a scam coin. It was literally called Scam Coin. Do not buy this token. And like people like they're just throwing money into this, and like over 2 days, like there was like $1 million in TVL in it, and I was like, this is insane. Like people just do these things out of like pure humor, and yeah, it's cool and all, but it's like, guys, last thing I need, unfortunately, is for someone coming after me, because I made a security. But yeah. I mean, there is no. I think as long as there is nothing behind the token, and the token has like no significant value or meaning, I mean, realistically, you should be fine. Kind of like that guy who was like, "Hey, this coin is a scam. Like, do not invest into it," and people just did it anyways. Like, I told them, yeah. I was honest. I don't think you can pin someone down for that.
All right, so let's see here. All right, so let's jump into the Bitcoin price analysis to next week's big event, a big volatility event. So before I jump into it, make sure if you guys have any questions, we're gonna do a Q&A after this. So any questions about anything that we've already covered in today's live stream, or that I'm about to talk about now, or if you have any questions about anything going on within the market right now, drop it in the comments, and then we're going to answer those for you. So let's go ahead and jump into today's market analysis and what exactly it is that I'm currently looking at. So as we can see, this is a weekly chart right now, and it gives us the bird's eye view of pretty much what's going on in the market, right? So if we kind of zoom out, we can see, we had the whole run up, and then all of last year, basically, we were trending down, right? So we were trending down. Let me put these moving averages. So we're trending down, and now we can see that we kind of bottomed right here in this little range right here, kind of bottomed there. The bottom price was pretty much 15,450. And now we've seen a change in the trend right now. So we can see that ever since we set up this bottom here, we've been setting up higher highs and higher lows, right? So that's currently what we're watching. That's the first time that we've set those since the last time we set it was actually when we bottomed here, and then we went up and set up new all-time high. And then the last time before that this happened, you know, we have to go all the way back to when we started the previous bull run. So as you can see, this is usually the sign of starting a bull run. This is how a bull run starts. The whole trend basically reverses and changes, and it starts going in the opposite direction. Now, of course, there's always going to be pullbacks within that trend. As you can see, we had, when we first bottomed out here, we ran all the way up to, let's see, we went up as high as 25,285. And then what happened? We went all the way back down to 19,526. So that's basically what, a $5,000, $6,000 move down before then moving right back up. So now we've, again, another impulse move. We've gone up as high as $31,000. And currently we're sitting at $27,000. That's a $4,000 interest. I mean, a $4,000 difference. And we can potentially go lower. And we're gonna go more into that now. Let me go into the daily time frame here, and you see these little you see the big red box. This big red box is the resistance range, right? We've been talking about, and I've been showing this resistance range for a while now. You know, going back to the weekly time frame really quickly, you can see that this has been a point of interest for quite some time, since 2020, right? And this is a big range here. So if we look at this, you can see that this is played as a support and resistance here back in 2020 and 2021. Then once again in 2021, when we had this big 50% pullback, again, it was we pulled back into the support, which is this same red box. And last year when we dropped, we had this massive move down. This happened after we lost the support here in this range. So now we're on the other side of that, which is before it was a support, and guess what happens to supports? Once we lose them, they flip into resistance. So that's currently where we're sitting right now. Just so you have an idea of what we're facing on the way back up, right? So now if we can't break through this on this first go around, I'm thinking that we're going to pull back into one of these boxes potentially. And these boxes are 3 different levels. So first we have the $25,000 level. That's of course a big support area, a big psychological number. It's halfway between 20 to 30. And we've seen it here that, you know, we've seen this as a resistance level multiple times here. So this is going to be the first area of support. The next level is going to be between 22 to 23.5 range. And you can see that this played a major role here a few times, right? And then the last level, of course, it's going to be all the way back down here. This is $20,000, right? We already know $20,000, big psychological number. $20,000, a previous all-time high. $20,000 has played a lot of roles. It also happens to be where we have a CME gap, right? So there's a gap there. Will it get filled? Will it not? You know, we don't know. But the previous one did get filled. So just something just to kind of monitor there, right? So that's the resistance that we're facing right now, and those are the support areas that we could potentially drop down to. And then the other thing that we've been watching, we've been talking about it multiple times over the last few weeks, is the divergence, right? So if we pull up an RSI here, we're gonna be able to see it pretty clearly. Just get a trend line. We already have the trend line going up. So on the RSI, let's just draw the trend line where it's at right now. and you can see the clear divergence, right? We have prices moving higher while momentum is moving lower. So when that usually happens, that there's, it means that there must be some sort of pullback, because there's a disagreement with the price and the momentum, right? Momentum's falling, so how can price be going up higher? So usually these two need to be in line with one another, right? So if we go back here, you can see that as price here went up, momentum also went up. Then when price went up higher, momentum went up higher. So now as price has continued higher, momentum has dropped off. So usually that points to a short-term, pullback, right? Now, if we look back, go all the way back, we say, okay, let's look for the last time that we saw something similar where price was going up while momentum was dropping. So let's look for something like that. And the most recent one I found was actually all the way back in 2021. It's funny because it's actually around the same period, right? So this move up started in January, and it went all the way up where it topped out around April. So that's exactly where we're at right now, right? Our current move up started in January, and our highest point has been in April. Then what happened? Well, last time we saw this, we can see that the price is moving up higher, higher, higher. And then if we draw a line on the momentum, we can see the momentum was going lower and lower and lower. So again, same thing that we're seeing right now. Price was moving higher, but momentum was moving lower. So what ended up happening? We actually had a 50% retracement over the next few months. And that's going to be May, June, July, and it wasn't until the end of July where we started rallying back to the upside. So again, I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen. I'm just showing you guys what happens last time that we had something similar. Now, during this, you also have to keep in mind what was happening during this time, right? During this time, we had China banning Bitcoin. We had Tesla pulling out of Bitcoin. We had, the whole campaign against Bitcoin not being green. We had a lot of things going on. We were towards the end of the previous bull cycle. We were at the end of, all that funding, all that money printing, zero interest rates, all that stuff. So we do have to take those things into account as well. A lot of things that were going on. And again, it was the tail end of the previous bull market. So it's different, right? But that's just to kind of give you an idea of what we saw. So I'm not saying that I'm expecting a 50% drop here, because a 50% drop from its current high, right? The high that we just set, 50% drop would put us basically back down at the exact bottom that we set, back at $15,000. So I'm not saying that we're going to get a 50% drop, but I do think there has to be some sort of the RSI and the price need to realign, right? Whether it's consolidation for the next few months or some sort of pullback as we're seeing now, there has to be something that realigns the momentum of that we see here in the RSI, realigns it with the price itself. All right, so that's the biggest thing that I think we're watching. And because again, this week there's no real economic nothing really big on the economic calendar, as we've seen the last few weeks while we've been rallying up. There's reason to believe that this week we either continue to consolidate or we could even have another leg down. So that's currently what I'm watching. The main thing that I'm watching this week. I would love it for it to just continue to consolidate here as we lead up to the Fed interest rate hike decision next week, which would bring volatility in and probably a move up. We've seen move ups the last few times that we've had that. And then after the week after that, then we're going to have the CPI data. As you guys know, if we look at the data here, at what's been going on, all these move ups here, every time that we've had these big move ups that, you know, have been, you know, 10%, 20% move ups, whatever they've been. If we look at the weekly here, we can see it a lot more clearer. These have all come the week of the CPI data release. So because the CPI, because inflation has been dropping, you know, Bitcoin has been running up. So we've seen this 21% move up, this 26% move up, and in the last CPI data release date, we had a 7% move up. So it wasn't as big as the previous two, but again, it was another big move up during that week. So I think that we could potentially see something similar, but until then, we might either consolidate here, and we could potentially even see another leg down here to one of these support levels that I'm watching here. Now, as far as what I'm doing this week, for the most part, I am probably staying out of trades, out of day trades for now until I see. I don't want to trade in the middle of this. I want a clear move in one of these directions. So that will probably be, I don't know, it will be either above $28,000. I would start looking for long positions again, potentially. Or below $27,000, I would be looking for some short positions potentially. So those are the two levels that I'm looking at. And as you can see today, we've touched basically both those levels. We've hit a high of 27,997 and a low of 26,925. So you also have to be careful not to get stuck in one of these, you know, fake outs, right? So, you know, the market loves to do that, loves to sweep the lows. And then once you enter your short position, then it moves right back up and it basically stops you out. Now I'm back. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, you're like there, and then you're gone, and I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. OBS continues to disconnect. I don't know why. I'm gonna have to look into it this week because this is the second week that we've had this happening. I don't know what is going on, but yeah, but I don't know what's the last that I covered, but basically what I was kind of wrapping it up.
Pretty much everything. I mean, when you start wrapping it up, then that's probably when you cut out for me, to be honest.
Yeah. So I was just talking about that. Be careful with the market trying to potentially, you know, either take you out from on the top or the bottom. They likes to sweep the lows and highs, so gotta be careful with those. You know, as we go throughout the week, I'll be keeping everybody updated on my socials and Discord. You know, depending what I do here, depending how the week progresses. So that's what we're gonna be watching here for the rest of the week, and yeah, that's pretty much it on that. Now I don't see any questions here, so if anyone has any questions for the Q&A, we'll cover it. If not, we're gonna wrap it up. I know Bitcoin Queen has something else to get to. She got things popping off. I know you have a conference coming up. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, there's a community conference that I helped put together in the Miami community because I like to help the Miami community. So it is called the Shitcoin Conference. It is happening on May 17th, guys. If you're going to be at BTC Miami and you're not going to BTC Miami and you want to hang out with some cool people, come to Shitcoin. This year it is at night. In previous years, I mean, anyone from Tone Vase to OGs like Da Vinci, BitBoy showed up. I don't know. He's going through like litigation right now. I don't know what's going on with him. So I don't know if he'll be here this year, but usually all the cool people come out and hang out. And a lot of people like it because it's kind of like what crypto conferences used to be, just like a very lax environment. The story behind Shitcoin is that two maxis, if it's not a Bitcoin, it's a shitcoin. So we just decided to meme a conference into existence around not necessarily shitcoins or altcoins per se, but it's really just to fight like anti-maximalist culture. And the only reason is because there's this article, if anybody knows who Jameson Lop is, he's probably the one who said it best. like originally the idea of like Bitcoin toxicity and maximalism came from, you know, not only protecting the asset and making sure that it gained its place in society where it's gone today, but it's gotten kind of out of hand. You know, it served its purpose in the front run to like, you know, help navigate people in a sense to stay away things like, you know, all these meme coins that are coming out, for example, that'll like rug you like overnight and you don't know it hit you, right? That was pretty much the idea behind maximalism, but it's gotten heavily toxic, and it's not a really good look for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general anymore. It's gotten to the point where people are now demonizing Bitcoin and saying, you know, it's a toxic culture and this and the third, and you shouldn't join, you know, Bitcoiner. Like a lot of people who I know who are friends of mine who got into crypto very early, they're like, I'm not going to the Bitcoin conference because it's just full of, you know, toxic, snobby maximalists. And that's not the image that a decentralized movement and sovereign currency should have. It's just not. And it's just not the attitude that will welcome mass adoption. So, you know, maximalism is fine, but take it with a non-toxic approach. I highly recommend Google Jameson Lopp Bitcoin maximalism, and there's this wonderful article he wrote. It's a very, very long dialogue, but it's very good. And yeah, it kind of talks about that culture and where we kind of need to go as a community. And I think the idea of maximalism is okay. You know, I personally, I do most of, I'm wearing the white paper, you know, this is a Bitcoin white paper. Like Bitcoin is my favorite shitcoin. And I can say that because originally Bitcoin started as a shitcoin. It started as something that, you know, people rejected, people didn't like, had no values, until it became what it is today, right? And I think as long as we can like realize that and accept that, and you know, healthily push people into the community, yeah, I think that's the characteristics that we need to show to attract people. But yeah, so if you guys are interested, shitcoinconf.com, May 17th.
There you go. I think
I got on my soapbox for a second.
Yeah. I think we're going to wrap it up with that. Thank you guys for those who tuned in. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We do this every single Monday. Let's talk crypto at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we cover everything that's going on in the market, from news to prices to you know, overall market analysis, and a live Q&A at the end. So you know, as we grow this, because we just started this back up recently, so as we grow this bigger and bigger, you know, I'm sure we're going to be getting more and more people involved, and definitely want to grow this into something a lot bigger, where we could do this and have people come on the show and all that, and just make it a lot of fun. So that's it. Thank you, Bitcoin Queen, once again for being here. We'll be live again next Monday. And thank you guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. As always, peace and love.